Hey guys, what's going on this morning? So I made my homemade bread yesterday, but it's like homemade bread for biscuits. That's what I had going on. That's a preheat oven 350 degrees, and then I just pretty much put flour, eggs, and then a little bit of milk, a little bit of salt in here. Then I have my homemade biscuit. Yeah, I mean, they'll rise. It'll take a little bit to rise, but we'll give them a try. Usually with the biscuits, you oil them, get them nice and oiled. I can't wait for this electric bike to come in. On the mopeds I've had in videos, but I've bought these electric bikes I bought before I moved up here. They're just really crappy inner tubes because you drive on the sides a lot and you gotta deal with rocks. But it's like this bike is a good bike. All you gotta do is buy a battery with it. The inner tube and chain is not nothing to worry about, and it powers up with a battery. The inner tube is popping back, but most people look at it and be like, "That's so fucked up." Well, it's not that fucked up. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can buy a chain, and inner tube ain't that big of a deal. Chain inner tube is nothing. Once you get the chain inner tube and buy a battery, then you can drive it. It goes about 15 miles an hour. And it goes up some good hills. And I got this, and I got that bike. And I'm just like, I get this bike out of here. And I got another electric bike coming in the mail. And it's one of the better bikes. I've made sure to spend good money on it, like $300 on it, to give me a good electric bike, so that I can get some miles in. If I could drive like 40 miles or 50 miles on it, that's good for the range of a battery. As long as you're not having gas-powered bikes in your apartment, that's fine. You can have electric bikes in your apartment, because I've lived in a lot of places and lived a lot of government housing. This would probably be the second apartment I've lived in on government housing. But I also had a lot of experience in actually following the rules and following things and understanding laws and rules of living in an apartment. I mean, you gotta be a good tenant, pay your bills and pay your rent on time, so that way you don't have to worry about it later on. I'm like, well, you also got to keep a nice clean place. And if you guys don't have tubs in your stand-up shower or whatever, just buy a portable tub like this. It's an extra large portable tub, which you can probably soak yourself in there pretty good. It's pretty deep. When it's deep enough to sit in there and fill with water. Make sure you have a shower hose though when you're filling it with water. That's one way that I fill it up with water, because that's why I got a shower head, so I can fill it with water. It'd be hard to fill it with water if I was just having a spigot out, But yeah, and that's my bed. Got that all set up, and then my poster, wolf poster. I got my other posters. Make sure that I have some posters hanging up. Got them cooking at 350 degrees. We have my LED light here. I try to plug this up, and I don't know where the battery, I don't know where the controller is at, but it's all good. It has the lights changing. So that's what I like about that setting, is the lights. And I put this fleece back up to make it look nice, and it drapes look a lot better for this window, and it looks way much better. You know, I'm gonna buy some more drapes for these windows. These windows, but sheets or what I gotta use. It's like, well, you know, people would say it's Hoosierish, hanging sheets up on windows is like, well, the office don't care about that. The office up here, they see drapes, they see fucking like sheets up on it. People look at it like, oh, this guy's a Hoosier, he's Hoosierish. People do that to just fucking piss you off. They do that because they're upset about something, or they, you know, see you as a threat or something. Most people you live around in neighborhoods or apartments have no idea what living in an apartment complex is like. So if you can't pay your bills and your rent, and well, first of all, you gotta pay your security deposit when you move up in here. It's the first thing you gotta pay off. Then you gotta pay your utilities, and then your rent. And then it's like, well, get a job if it's expensive. I don't know what to tell people, but gotta get a job. Gotta get a fucking full-time paying job. Me, I'm on a society income, but I also make a little bit extra money on the side. Selling things like my bikes. And having free time in my hands to do this stuff. Because once I start working, then it's just, I'm not going to have much free time, but it'd be a part-time schedule. And I still have free time in my hands as long as I'm making a little bit of extra money on the side. That's all that matters. It's all that matters. And then people try to freaking have pets in their house and animals in their house without even paying the pet deposit. And they don't tell the office about it. Well, eventually the office will fucking find out about that, and they're gonna get upset about it because you're not supposed to have an animal in these apartments without getting spayed or neutered. That's why they're expensive. And the office is just, you know, there's some places that are anal about things, and like, well, that's just how the office is. I mean, that's why do you have an office? Managers, and assistant managers, you know. Yep. Let them kind of just get, and they're not quite done yet. Look at the bottom, look at the top. And be flaky, just like rubber biscuits whenever they rise up. You know, I mean, keeping things nice and clean too is part of living in government housing. I mean, it's not like people think that this is just their own place, or it's like a house, or it's you're renting these places. These places aren't designed for people that can't pay attention to the rules and can't follow the rules and can't pay the rent. It's like, well, if you can't pay your rent and your bills, then you're gonna get kicked out. That's one reason why mostly people can't ever can't pay the rent. Or it's like, why the hell would you move in here anyways in the first place if you can't pay your rent or bills? Like, what do you expect? Just to be like treated like a homeless shelter or something? It's like, no, dude, it's not a homeless shelter. That's why most people walk in here, move in these apartments, and then can't afford to pay their security deposit, or can't afford to pay their rent or their utilities. Like, well, that's just part of living. That's part of what living is about. If you can't have a roof on your head, then you're gonna have to move back to your mom and dad's or wherever you were living at. Potosi, Missouri, this place, utilities are all backed up because people can't afford to pay their utilities. They don't pay their bills. And that's the real reason why this poverty rate is so freaking low around here in this area. The poverty rate is pretty much people that can't afford to pay their bills. Well, it's like people are too lazy to work nowadays. Like, it's a problem with this generation nowadays, and people are too lazy to work. You can't get a job, you can't pay your bills, and you're gonna wind up in the street. So you got food to buy, you've got bills, you've got expenses to have. And yeah, I moved in here because I sacrificed my money to move in here. I mean, I had $560, but you know, I learned how to survive. And if I was low on food in the first month moving up here, then I would go to the pantry and get food. And if I'm low on food, then get some food. That's all I gotta do. I'm doing things on my own, and it's like, this area is a good area. You know, I can go to this health department and get a little bit of food. It may not be like everything you want, but it is camping food, survival food. It's canned goods, and then it's a bunch of milk. It's like, well, I go to these pantries up here, but now that I've got my food to myself, I'm not going around feeding everybody else. Then it stretches out a little bit better. You can stretch your food out more if you're cooked for yourself. And brothers eat a lot of food and they buy food back, and it's like, I have fucking buy a lot of food. It'd be nice for someone to buy some food back. Buy like the same fucking ground meat or something like that. It's like, I eat different food compared to most people do, and you know, I'm not picky. But it's like, well, I've been a hardworking person, and I keep up on things, like my food stamps, my Medicaid card, my SSI. You know, I stay up on things. SSI is anal about shit, because if you're not reporting information, if you're not reporting wages, then they're going to take your SSI away from you. So you gotta stay up on that. You got to. With SSI, I mean, I've been on it for years. I've been on it for at least 17 years, but I got on it whenever I got out of high school. And my teachers helped me out get on SSI. So it was 2010 whenever I got on it. So I can show you proof of my SSI. I can show you proof that I make SSI. People wonder why he's moving in. How do you move in this apartment? How do you get in this? You know, on SSI income, you don't make that much money. It doesn't matter. It's about not giving up and being determined and learning how to save your money up for a place like this. I save my money up for things because I care. Yeah, see, the bottom isn't quite done yet. 50 degrees for that. I'll keep those in there for a little while, but yeah, I mean, you know, I moved in here and I ain't got no clothes hanger or nothing like that, but once I'm done taking the shower or bath, then I'll just hang up my shirts up on the rack like this, because they kind of stink. But that's because I need some air. I need to be spaced out with the clothes and shirts. They need spaced out a little bit. And these closets may be small, but that's why you have duffel bags and bags, so you can put stuff in the bag, so you can, you know, utilize the space, and it can save you some space, and it can, you know, be a good way of storing your stuff. Okay, that right there. So that lights are pretty cool. It changes the blue, purple, green. These stripes were about like $20, but definitely keep the heat in. I mean, it does a little better with keeping the heat in as long as I have that window covered up. That's the next window to cover up. And I just waited. I put a little oil into the mix of my homemade bread. Just put as much as flour in there as you can to make it thick. Probably about 4 cups of flour, 2 eggs, half a cup of milk, a pinch of salt. You sit there and knead it and knead it and knead it, foam it up and push it down and then roll it around, and you just do that until it gets thick and it foams up into a ball, and that's whenever you put it to the freezer. I mean, homemade cake is one thing I need to learn how to make too, and homemade crepes. I mean, I can make homemade pancakes with bread. But that's the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the subscribers. And, well, who knows what we'll do. You know, we'll get a job here soon. We're going to my doctor's appointment tomorrow to get diagnosed with disability so I can work up at this enhancements place. It's a workshop for disabled people, so it'd be perfect for me. And I'm trying to get a job here as soon as I move up here, but these places aren't hiring. No one's hiring. It's like, you fucking people are so low staffed around here. Can't even get a job around here. It's like up there in Fulton, people try getting jobs and they quit getting jobs because they can't work. And it's like you have maybe 2 or 3 people working at a job, and you know that's what low staffed is. I was working up at that KFC up there in Fulton, and then it was like only like maybe 2 employees. And whenever I have a part-time schedule, then I don't have anyone that can train me. It's like, well, I can't work here if I can't have anyone train me. You know, it's the situation you deal with whenever you get a job and you have low-staffed people or low-staffed. You don't have anyone else to really train you or anyone else to really teach you. Alright, on that note, peace out, guys.